Good afternoon, Daniel Hungerford Morgan here from the Effective Contractor. How's it going? Today, I would like to talk about schedules. And in terms of schedules, I'd like to look at schedules for larger companies. So as soon as you're starting to get over 200,000 upwards, you're going to start and you start taking on some larger projects. You need to be able to build more comprehensive schedules. So today, I want to go through the process that I've used in the past. Now, I'd like to tell you the story about how I got to this process and how I learned this process. So basically, going back a year and a half ago, I was really, I don't know, I've been doing schedules for a while, but I hadn't really worked out how to get them really good because what I found is that we were going and we're being very reactive. We're just turning up to the client, we're giving them a schedule, and we kind of update it once a month type thing, and we work with that. And it didn't really help us in any way because the client didn't follow our schedule, we didn't follow our schedule, so we're just told to do whatever we have to do by the client, and there's no contract schedule in place really, and we aren't being proactive in using our schedule, so the client just kind of overran us a bit, and that I know that gets quite annoying because you're just getting told what to do over here and over there, and the client can just you're at their mercy. They've got the paycheck and you've got nothing in place protecting your interests, and that's the purpose of a schedule. So we kind of got to that point. We're like, okay, well, we're getting a bit fed up with this. And we're also just reacting all the time. We don't know what we're doing next week. The guys don't know where they're going, and it wasn't very a nice situation to be in. So we kind of got to a point where like, okay, we have to fix this. So it kind of made a bit of a plan. Okay, well, let's just do the schedules once every 2 weeks, and let's try just ask the guys on site what they think. And we kind of got to that point, and we met with the client every 2 weeks. And then we got to a point where okay, that kind of take off, but it didn't solve the problem because it just changes every day. And we're like, well, this is just not working for us. And so I don't know. We kind of came back and we said, okay, well, what's a good way to move forward with these schedules, and how can we really make them effective? And that's what I want to run through with you now. I want to go through how we did that, and we did do it. And when you get your schedules in place and you really start using your schedules in terms of running your projects from them, and you base everything off the schedule, it's brilliant. Because once you get to that stage, I found is that the foreman can look at the schedule and he knows what's going on. You don't have to tell him. The client can look at the schedule. He knows what's going on. And once he knows that you're delivering on that schedule at least 85% of the time, he can't say anything because he's agreed to it up front because you go to progress meetings. And that's what I'm going to go through. And you get to a point where you're in control of your schedule. The guys know what's going on. You know what's going on. And you know how much money you're spending as well and how much time you should be spending on it. And I don't know, it really adds up, and you can get a lot of value out of a good schedule. So I just want to go through a schedule and the procedure that works around a schedule. So the first step is developing developing. Okay, I'll call it a program here, but I've been calling it a schedule. Is a program schedule, a slash schedule. So so you go ahead and your project manager, your project engineer, site coordinator, whoever does it, determines stages of the works. So they say, okay, well, what's the first stage that we're going to do? So we've got mobilization. So I'm just going to go through here. So determine the stages of what you're going to do. So say you're doing, this is called effective station. That's the project, and you open the effective station up, and you've got, well, there's two things here. There's the drilling stage and there's the set up wells stage. So they say, okay, well, first we're going to drill, then we're going to set up the wells. And they say, okay, so those are the stages. So you're doing the stages, but you got to determine also the works that are going to go on, the duration, the dependencies, the labor, the plant that's involved in it. So what you do is you go ahead and you say, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to do a number of we've got a number of smaller stages inside this. So we've got the drilling is full of mobilization. We're going to drill 5 wells, well 1 to 5. We're going to drill wells, 20 wells, wells 5 to 25. Also, we've got setup. So we're going to set up wells in the north. We're going to set up wells in the east, and we're going to do the southeast for these different wells that we're going to do. What we're going to do also is we're going to say, okay, well, that's going to take 1 day, take 8 days, 22 days, 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. So you've got your durations then. You can then go ahead and add in your start times. You can add in if you've got predecessors that happened before that. But sorry, I should just expand this for a second. So you've got organize the float, that's the mobilization. So they know what they have to do. So we're going to do 2 wells in the east, 3 wells in the west. So they get a bit more of an understanding so that If the foreman's doing it, he understands it's going to take me 8 days. Okay, 4 days over here, 4 days over here. I've got one mobilization up there. And then I've got, okay, 5 wells in the northeast, southeast. Rig, I've got some maintenance on the rig that's going to be going on here. I've got the north, 6 in the north, 6 in the south. Okay, so they get an understand. They say, okay, when does it start? Starting here, starting here. Okay, they've got, okay, what's predecessor? You can see what goes before what. They can see, okay, what rig are we doing it? We've got the SM10. We've got the 2 labor doing that. Well, okay, so how many labor we got doing this? We've got 2, we've got 2, okay. And then you've got some information here. You can add some notes in here, but that's the building of it. So you're going through and you're saying the works, the duration, dependencies, plant labor. Oh, and without this stage, I find it key not to put the dates in just yet, because that's kind of with the client. So confirming the program, confirming the schedule, as you go into the company, it's your company, the project manager, the project engineer, whoever's doing it, meets with the client's team, and they go over the program. So they go over the program 0.0. So that's the first program 0.0 there. They go over it and they decide on a mobilization date, and you decide on key dates, key milestone dates with them. So what dates do they want to hit? And then basically once you do that, you come in here and you can add the dates in here. And this, I don't know, I've got Smartsheet here. This program works quite nicely because you can just change predecessors and it can already work out dates with durations. It can cut quite a bit of time. So what you've got here is you add the dates in here, and then you can say, okay, you can see, okay, we've got a critical path working down here. We've also got, you can see mobilization of float. You've got 2 labor there. You can see you got what you're doing. And it's a nice visualization of who's doing what. You can see what rig you're using as well. So it's all there. Now, okay, that's the first step to starting the project. Now, the next thing is that you want to go over a weekly walkover. So basically the client engineer, but your engineer meets with the client, or the foreman meets with the client, or whoever it is, once a week. So that's a Thursday, Friday before you go, and then you go over the site, take the program, the schedule with you, and you take the drawings. You discuss, okay, what's going to happen next week? What do we require for the client? What do the client require from us? And you kind of get a good understanding. And then you do a weekly program send out. Now, this might be a bit of an overkill for you, but this is how I found it worked for us. So you send out the week's program, the week's schedule, what we're going to do for the week, and what the client's going to do. We send out drawings of what we require from the client. So if it's quite specific where the wells are going, or depends how it is, then you might need the client to move this or move that. A daily breakdown with a day-by-day brief overview of what the client's doing and what you're doing. And that means you really understand what's going on. Your foreman really understands what's going on. The schedule's up to date every week. It gets updated week by week. And you've got a progress meeting that goes ahead, and you can take the printout to these and you can go over and talk about it with your client. Okay, so I hope this makes some sense. And this is, I don't know, when you get this underway, you can save a lot of money, because when you start getting these all organized, the foreman knows how many days it should take. He knows you're making money, you're losing money. He knows what's going on. It's how you run a site with a program, with a schedule, and keep on top of it every week, just doing those walkovers, going over and over again until the job's done. It's really keeping on top. You've got to keep